Welcome to Exposition, and stay tuned. We've got photographer Miranda Wood on this week.
Welcome to Exposition, and I'm Valerie Thomas as usual, and Mike is here too, behind the scenes again. And today our guest is Miranda Wood, and we are going to learn all about Miranda and how she got to her current place in her life with her creativity and in the arts. And but first of all, I want to remind everybody this coming Saturday, if you're watching this 2019 in December, we have the Winter Artisan Wonderland coming up this Saturday at the Artisan Shop, 749 3rd Avenue. And please come and support your local artisans. And we have all kinds of things. Please go to the website and check out our classes. And we have a gallery show that's very important to me personally coming up. And as well as Mike, because Deb, his wife, his beautiful, amazing wife, has her, it's 3D paper craft, and it's outrageously amazing. So be sure to look and see what's coming up at the Artisan Shop. And so here we have Miranda Wood. We've been trying for years to get her to come on the show, and she is so kindly taking her lunchtime to be with us today. Hi, Miranda.
Hey.
It's so great to finally have you.
Yeah, thanks. Get on my introverted shell.
Yes, yay, yay, finally. Well, Mike, you may chime in at any point. I don't want to take over. So if you have things that you want to ask Miranda, I was just going to start with, like, when you're growing up, what got you started in the arts and things like that. Would you like to ask anything before she?
No.
Okay.
We'll
Okay. Well, just when you were growing up, like, when did the interest in the arts start with you, and what was your experiences?
I think my interest in art started with music.
Okay.
I
Wow.
was into pop music just like most other 90s girls, Spice Girls and all that kind of stuff. But that I'm not really counting that as my introduction to art necessarily. But I started, learned about Nirvana.
Sure.
And like 9 Inch
The
Nails,
grunge
things like that. So I just got more interested in things that weren't necessarily super popular, and also, of course, art can be used as rebellion. I went eventually to a Christian school and things like that. So it's very stereotypical. But
Yes.
and then when I was in junior high, I was always interested in color and things like that. But I first saw Starry Night by Van Gogh, which I know is kind of also a stereotypical, he's everyone's favorite artist, but he's mine too.
Yes,
and I just
fine.
remember staring at that painting anytime, I was having a little 7th grade fit or getting grounded, or if anything sad was going on in my life, I would just stare at that book and that painting.
Sure.
And just try to figure out, how did he make these colors swirl like this, and what was he thinking, and I would just imagine everything going on in his head, and that's kind of why I started liking art.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty specific. Then, that's and so after you started thinking, well, gosh, music and visual art, so performing art and visual art. Then what was your next experience? Did you start dabbling in music or art at that point?
I played clarinet in school, and I like to sing by myself, but I'm not a performer. I would be way too nervous to sing in front of anyone. I like to daydream that I'm, a cool musician, but I'm also very impatient. So if I'm not kind of immediately good at something, which is not a good thing to be, you need practice. I
It's frustrating.
I kind of like gave it up. So I started drawing. I wasn't super confident in it, but I just liked creating. So that was the most important thing. And then Mrs. Crothers, shout out to my junior high art teacher.
Yes,
She
love her.
We had a whole segment on Van Gogh, and we did a special project. But I think it's probably still at my mom's house in the garage. And I just learned about his life and other artists, impressionists and post-impressionist art. And I really just wanted to kind of recreate it, just like you do when you start to like, classic art or something.
Right.
You want to recreate it. So,
right. Make it your own.
Yeah, so I would just paint and dabble, and then I was more interested in like art therapy or teaching art, rather than necessarily being a artist that's, you have your artwork in a gallery.
Right.
But all those things combined, I think, just kind of led me to, creating things or wanting to more often.
What was your favorite medium to start then, besides music?
It was probably painting. I mean, I would try to trace things and make things look, realistic. And maybe it's because I wasn't initially that great at it and I have low patience. I like to work with acrylic because it's fast. I like to work with watercolors. Oil's beautiful, but I just can't. I have ADHD.
I'm the same.
So it was painting and just making colors kind of swirl together and seeing what happened, experimenting with things, I guess.
Well, what would you say, what is your favorite kind of style in painting then that you particularly enjoy the most?
Probably impressionist painting,
Okay.
because I'm a very, I don't want to say I'm not rational, but I like, the overview of something, the feeling that something gives you.
Yes, and while you're painting it, you're
feeling the subject. It's rather
people
more
will
about
see that
right.
in your pieces.
Yeah, it's more about the feeling than the actual subject usually. For me,
Yes.
whether it's art that I like or like creating.
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. See, I admire that because I don't usually have that. I always want to do something very specific, and finally broke out of my shell. So it's like breaking out of your shell all the time when you're, when you're like you're getting outside of the box when you're doing the impressionism. So that's or expressionism
Yeah,
too.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
But I need more practice being more honed in, like you were saying, to doing an actual subject, which I'm trying to do a little bit more. And I think in January I'm going to start doing something that actually Benji Davis, who is a professor here,
Yes.
would do a daily drawing. I think I'm going to start doing that, even if it's, or not, I guess maybe not a drawing, but just a little tiny art project every day
That's a
that doesn't
great
stress me
idea.
out,
Yes.
easy cleanup or, even if it's on the road, just on a little scrap piece of paper. But I think that'll help me because I have to have a regimen or I won't create things.
Right. You put it off.
Yeah.
Put it off. You're like, I'm not in the mood, whatever. But if you just sit down, and even if it's the pencil and paper, scrap paper, whatever, then it releases those creative juices, and it's good therapy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't
Relaxing.
it great? It's great therapy.
Yeah. My boyfriend actually has these watercolor pens that his mom gave him for Christmas.
Yeah.
And I love them because they're so relaxing, and you don't have to clean up anything.
Yes,
the water's
they're
in the
right there.
pen. You just do it.
Oh my
you put it away.
gosh.
It's just super relaxing. Even if you're just goofing off, I think I love it.
Yes, isn't it getting crazy with the like? There's paint pens, there's paint markers, there's the pen brushes, there's
Yeah.
all that now. It just makes it too easy not to create. But you have a show coming up then
Yeah.
at the Artisan Shop Gallery, and that I believe is in May.
Yes,
I
we
could
believe
be
it
wrong,
is.
May or June, something like that, in 2020. So we'll look forward to that coming up. And do you want to give a teaser, or
Well-
is it going to be just kind of just a whole body of work that's that reaches to all different areas or themes and things, or do you want to just keep it a secret?
Well, I've been thinking off and on different ideas. I had an idea in mind, and then I kept teeter back and forth. I would like to include some of my photography in
Yes,
there.
yes, please.
So it might not be very cohesive, like some, grand, thought-provoking theme or anything, but
No, it doesn't need
I
to
kind
be.
of want to experiment with installation pieces. So
Ooh,
we'll see.
please. That's awesome.
Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh, so you'll have painting and photography and
We'll see.
sculpture and
We'll see.
all of that. That'll be wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
I hope you just, whatever inspires you. We'll look forward to it. It's like this. It's your show. So you do whatever you want, and we will be so lucky and blessed to
Oh.
have it.
You're always so encouraging.
It's we appreciate your creativity and your photography, and I really do need you to come out to where we live because it's very inspiring.
I know, I've heard.
Photographically. So sometime maybe one of those pieces might be in the
Yeah,
show.
maybe you'll be a model.
Oh no, no, we'll put Kelsey in that position.
Either one. Beautiful women. That's fine.
Yay, that'll be great. Well, should we go to the pieces yet
Yeah, we've got 'em.
of some pictures of some of the art that you
Yeah,
have been
sure.
doing over the years? And, oh my, here's your photography.
It's kind of a random collection, but
Oh, good, good. Tell us about each picture we're looking at.
This was actually a boudoir shoot, which you can't really tell that particularly from this image, but I just liked the lighting, and she was a fantastic model. As like most
Yes.
women when they get their picture taken,
Yeah.
she was self-conscious.
Of course.
But
Oh,
she was
gosh,
beautiful, and she rocked it.
Yes, that's amazing. I love that
Thanks.
with the light.
This is a woman named Mallory Oakes. She, I believe that's her last name still. She did some modeling a few years ago, and this actually got into a publication on Vogue Online.
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
How wonderful! Wow. You know, I'm very forgetful. I might have known that, but that's really amazing and wonderful.
I mean, it's not as
You've got creds, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Wow.
Thanks. That was during it was kind of a boudoir shoot as well, but there were several girls in the shoot. They're very like earthy, hippie-like.
Oh my goodness.
But anyway, she was great, and at first I was trying to use that to kind of cover her up so I could post a picture online of her.
Yeah.
But then I kind of just played a little bit more around with it, made it
It looks
mysterious.
like a painting to me. I guess I don't know if
I was
my-
painting with
That looks
Photoshop.
like yeah, but it looks very. I don't know. It looks.
Oh, you didn't set off a smoke bomb?
No, but I want to do that. I know it's kind of, super popular now, but it looks cool still.
Yeah.
That looks very, very cool.
Thanks. That's Jessica Malone, as you guys are
Oh,
well aware of her.
Jessica, she's so beautiful.
Yeah, she's amazing. That was in an old barn house, a little series. It's a very melancholy series. I was kind of reading a lot about Freud. Anyway, so I was
Oh.
just yeah.
So that's where you were.
Yeah.
In your mindset.
yeah,
Wow.
kind of spooky.
I love spooky. I love it.
But she's amazing. Of course, her photography is, amazing.
And so is yours. You both are amazing.
And that's another Mallory. She actually came up with the idea. She painted on her chest.
Oh.
Yeah, it's black and like a regular photograph, but
And is that did you play with the Photoshop with
yeah,
that one? And,
yeah.
Okay, gosh, I love the colors.
Thanks. It's just a wedding. I do, portrait photography too, so that was just a wedding in Florida.
I love it. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah,
Did you get to travel to Florida for the wedding?
yeah, we drove up. I drove up with her and her fiance at the time, and then saw them get their marriage license, and then went to the beach, and then I flew back. So, yeah, it was really awesome.
That's pretty
I loved
nice
it.
as a
Yeah.
photographer.
Yeah, it was. She paid me, of course, but then my stay and food and all that was on her almost too. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
I will
But
do
she's
this.
sweet. She's super amazing and sweet. So she was easy, not a diva bride.
Thank
Laid
goodness.
back. Yeah.
Monster brides or
Yeah,
whatever
no.
they are. Oh.
And this is not a self-portrait, just FYI. I've been asked before.
Oh my goodness.
But this is a paint on a wood, piece of wood.
That's amazing.
It's actually a cousin of mine. I just like the fog. I love fog. I actually love anything melancholy. It's just really weird. I like sad things.
Oh, well, I don't know. There's a lot of emotion in that,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, I think it's like an in-between melancholy. It's not exactly depression or sadness, but there's like a
Right.
beauty, a haze to it that I like, and blue's my favorite color, so.
Yes. Do you have any Welsh in you?
Yeah, I do.
Well, my mom always told me the Welsh in me is when I'm feeling kind of
Oh,
blue or, yes.
I want to do a 23andMe, so we'll see.
Yes, yeah, but that's what I was always told growing up is, you know, there's like the different parts of me, or this is the reason because you're Irish, or this is the reason because it's
possible.
you're Welsh, or, you know, something
possible.
like that.
The
But
German in me likes L, I'm not sure.
yeah, it's I bet with heritage, you know, there are characteristics, not to put everybody in a box,
Sure.
that's, you know, that's got a certain background, but it's like it just kind of
That's interesting. I hadn't heard that yet. But yeah, my favorite movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. So if you've seen that and you can kind of see what I'm interested in, which comes as a surprise to some people because I think I'm, you know, I try to at least look happy most of the time, but
yes, you have a twinkle in your eye, and you're always very well put together, and have a smile on your face.
little do I know,
and-
I love sad things.
Yes, that's just very interesting, isn't it? I know what you have on your cover and what's swirling around in the inside. That's very, very intriguing.
Yeah.
I would say.
But I'm trying to play a little bit more with color and brightness, so we'll see. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, you might do some kids classes at the artisan shop.
Yes.
So maybe that'll be kind of like,
Yeah, that will definitely not be sad. Just FYI.
yeah. So you'll like maybe branch out in your emotions that way, and
I actually worked at a daycare in Marysville, Ohio. I taught, well, I was just a staff member, but I taught some art classes there, and
Yeah.
that was actually a way that I did start experimenting with brighter, I guess, quote, happier colors, because just working with those kids, and it really did inspire me to create different kinds of artwork, and yeah, it's interesting.
that is interesting because when you're thinking about when you're teaching, like who's your student, what, you know, maybe what's going on at the time, what's going on with them, what's you know, and that certainly is the foundation of inspiration for
for
what
sure.
you're going to do with them. So
And I think it also makes you, you know, remember that art doesn't have to be stuffy and pretentious. It doesn't have to be on a white wall. It doesn't have to have anything.
Right.
You know, it's creativity, and I think the kids help me be reminded of that because I'm so into art history, and you know, I didn't go to art school. I went to school to be an art teacher, but you know, you get kind of stuck in your ways and learning things and how they should be, and kids don't care about that. They haven't been taught rules.
Right.
So,
exactly. It's just this fresh sponge, just open to everything instead of being like cattle
Confined.
herded,
Yeah.
you know, into this train of thought, and you know, hers is better than mine, and all that ridiculousness.
Yep, they don't care when they're 5. They're
No.
they see it, they like it, and they're proud of it.
And it's beautiful because you know it came from such an innocent and you know, non-conformed place, and
They're little creators, as we
Yes,
all should
they
be,
are.
and in different ways, not just stereotypical, you know, art, but I think we all create things, and I think that kids help us to be reminded of that too.
yes, absolutely. Well, so you're going to be working on some things, maybe what you already have and what you're going to be working on for the gallery show. But what else are you looking forward to down the road?
That's a good question. It's funny that you asked me that, because somebody asked me that question in a different context as far as like a career and different other things. Usually in my life, I'm thinking of the past, or very much projecting into the future, like how am I going to make this happen, or having even anxiety about the future, things like that. But I'm actually super comfortable, and I'm kind of thinking in a healthy way, like day by day. So I don't know what the future holds.
Yes.
I hope that I can keep, making artwork, but even if it's just for myself, or I hope I can buy a new camera. I'd like a new camera.
Yeah. Talk to Mike.
Yeah.
He might have some cameras available. What kind of cameras are you looking for? Is it just like an updated version of what you work with already?
Yeah, I work with a Nikon, but Canons are good, and whatever, but just a new camera. So that's like the only thing I'm thinking of, I guess, as far as what I want in the future. But yeah.
What will it do? Is it like newer technology with the camera that you look forward to working with, or?
Well, it'll make me feel more confident in certain situations where there's low lighting or things like that. But I actually want to start doing film more, and maybe even change how I do portrait photography. Do it either more of a candid style, or go back to film, because I really enjoy doing that. And I actually, now that I'm talking, I'm like starting to, I really would love to have a dark room one day. I just think there's magic in that. I love that so much.
Where you live? Or,
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, maybe I can make one in your studio.
Well, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Actually,
oh, really?
We do have a space that's right now storage.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And that room to the left, down the, and that might be a perfect dark room. And we've talked to, now it's Addie Cauldron's mom about her. She has, I think, a lot of darkroom stuff, the equipment and things that maybe, we could all work together to get that to happen, because I think classes and that would be amazing. And Mike, you've been a part of that conversation. So, Mike, you can talk too.
She's
Mike.
not putting on the spot.
Yeah.
Putting up pictures.
More pictures.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
That was a project here at Rio when I was going to school here. Kelly O'Brien was a teacher or an instructor for a little while Benji was on sabbatical, and she was younger, fresh out of college. I think she graduated from Atlanta, but she was from Pittsburgh, I think. She was really into super modern art, and I never was really exposed to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
At first, I was kind of opposed to it. I didn't understand it, but I loved it, and she opened my mind so much.
That's what I need with that.
I loved her.
That's so
She was so into color, and it's funny because she would dress in like boots and just kind of like rustic, Pittsburgh kind of stuff. I mean, she was a lovely person, but just like hoodies, but her art group was so colorful.
Oh,
But she would use like objects that wouldn't normally be found in art, like nylon or something, and
oh my
make
goodness.
artwork out of it. Yeah.
Wow. Well, you can tell from that piece that we just saw what she taught you from herself. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, they're gorgeous.
Thanks.
I love it when they don't seem so posed.
That's Jenny Easter, the mayor of Rio Grande's wife, Matt Easter's wife.
Yes.
She's a lovely person inside and out, and I was so happy that she allowed me to take her pictures. She's a beautiful soul. I love her.
She looks like Mother Nature.
I know. That's what we were going for, so I'm glad
yes, yes. That's beautiful.
And that's very experimental, but I included that in the pictures. That was in one of Kelly's classes, but I just enjoyed doing it. So
is that glass?
Yeah, it's glass and clay and nylon and interesting enough, some kind of like jelly.
Well, well, that is very modern, and that's so cool.
Just
You're
a,
just sweetie
just a
pie.
little eastern bluebird, because I love nature. I'm very naturey.
Come out to the farm. Oh, yes.
That's on the bike trail here in
Baby.
Gallipolis. Supposedly, deer are my spirit animal, whatever.
Oh, that's in your office.
Yeah, it is. Yep. Oh, yeah. It
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yeah, I work at Career Connections. We're a staffing agency, so that
Yes.
that's there.
So drawing?
It's a drawing on the computer.
What?
Not a photograph?
There's like a thin layer of the photograph, but it's just basically the outline like of the feet, the beak, and a part of the feather. But I took out most of it and then like digitally drew on it's like a tablet. I can't think of what
Oh
it's
my
called, but-
gosh, I love that.
Thanks. My a relative of mine, she actually has it tattooed on her, so hopefully she likes it.
Oh, I love that process. I'm exposed to all kinds of things when when we're exposed to our different artisans
people.
that
Yeah.
come and we have on the show. I mean, I knew you can draw on computers, but that whole process of taking a photograph well, I've seen that, but that's just amazing.
Well, thank you.
That's
I don't know.
really
I don't know.
great.
It took forever.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's almost like with the feathers and all, but wow, your body of work is just everything.
All over the place.
Isn't that wonderful? Well, it looks like we have like a minute or so left, and what would you like to tell our audience that you want them to know about you, and is there a way to contact you if they've seen your photography or your art or any of the mediums, the 3D? If they want to contact you, how can they get a hold of you to have something created by Miranda Wood?
Well, I think my website was listed or has been listed right there. And then there's a way to email me from there, or you can find me on Facebook. But I just want to thank you for being an amazing human being.
Whoa.
You're still an amazing human being. And
Thank
you're always so
you.
encouraging to everyone, artists, and just you're empathetic and sweet, and
Thank you,
appreciate you.
Miranda. I
And
appreciate
I'm glad I was on
you
the show.
too.
It wasn't too
Thank you.
nerve-wracking.
See, we're just having fun here. Thank you that was so awesome and the sweetest thing. Thank you for saying all
welcome.
that. And I feel the same about
Aw.
you. And I can't
Well,
wait to
thanks.
see what you do. I can't wait to see what you do for the show. And
Thanks, me too.
Yes.
I've worked on very little of it.
oh, well, thanks again for tuning in to Exposition, and thank you, Miranda Wood,
Thanks.
for being here. Finally, we're so glad to have you. And we'll see you next time.